few weeks ago, I, 27 male, was blindsided by some news concerning my girlfriend, 26 female, who I've been with for 3 years and have a beautiful 6-month-old daughter. An old mutual friend came to me out of the blue and said that my girlfriend had let it slip to her when she found out she was pregnant that she hoped the baby was mine. Apparently, there were rumors of her and a guy in our friend circle around that time too, that I was unaware of. The friend said she didn't feel right keeping this to herself any longer, especially now that we're building a life together and I'm raising the baby as my own. Hearing this made me nearly puke. I was in shock because this could be the worst scenario I can imagine happening to me. For 3 years we've been together. My girlfriend has always been someone I thought was faithful, honest, and loving. All I had was a vague clue that she was otherwise, so I knew I needed to know for sure. I went ahead and took a paternity test. The results came back, and well, I'm not the father. To say I'm devastated would be an understatement. I've spent the last 6 months loving this little girl, caring for her, bonding with her, thinking she was mine. Now it turns out she isn't mine biologically. I'm heartbroken and don't know where to go from here. At the time when she got pregnant, I was mildly surprised because we always used protection, but I chalked it up to condoms not being 100% effective. But now it makes sense. I'm struggling with what to do next. I feel completely betrayed and I don't know how to unravel this mess. Part of me feels like I should leave and never look back because every time I look at my girlfriend, all I can see is the lie she's been living. But then there's the baby. This little girl I've been raising as my own. I love her, but she's not mine. And that reality's tearing me apart. I know it's not the baby's fault, but I don't know if I can stay and raise her. I don't want to raise another man's seed. What if I raise her and after all my years of hard work, her bio dad swoops in and claims her? There's just too many uncertainties in this scenario. I don't want to put myself through it whatsoever. I don't know what to do. I feel like my whole life has been upended. I know I need to talk to a lawyer soon. There's the matter of the birth certificate to sort out. Any advice would be appreciated right now. Update. I finally confronted my girlfriend, and as expected, it was a mess. She was angry that our friend betrayed her by telling me. Then she flipped it on me, asking why I would even think our baby isn't ours. How could I not trust her? Why genetics mattered so much to me. Once she calmed down a bit, I managed to get more of the truth out of her. It turns out she and the guy from our old friend circle had a brief affair around the time she got pregnant, and they didn't use protection. By the time she finished, I didn't even bother to be sad or angry anymore. I checked out completely. I didn't want her, and unfortunately, any love I had for the baby had been numbed down. I packed my stuff and moved out. Right now, I'm staying with my parents while I figure things out. I called my parents first to explain what was happening, and they were shocked, but supportive. Her parents were also surprisingly understanding when I talked to them. They didn't try to excuse her behavior. They seemed just as blindsided as I was. I've had to start wrapping my head around the fact that this little girl, who I thought was my daughter, isn't mine. It's heartbreaking, but I've realized that every feeling I had for her was built on a lie. She's only 6 months old. She won't remember me. As much as it hurts, I need to detach myself from this situation. My priority right now is protecting myself moving forward. I've talked to a lawyer, and he said this situation could get pretty complicated if we don't act fast. He informed me that the paternity contesting time period is 2 years in our state, so we're lucky on that front. We're going to move as quickly as possible and file to contest paternity and remove me from child support. I've also reached out to the guy who she said is the dad and let him know that our child could possibly be his. As of now, he's left me on red. Right now, I'm just trying to get through each day. I don't know what's going to happen next, but I'm trying to stay hopeful. Thanks for all the support. I look forward to a day when I'm no longer sad or depressed. Story 2. I've just found out that my wife of 7 years, who's mentally in a bad place, is now having an affair. What should I do? The background. I've been with my wife for 10 years and married for 7. We met when I was living in Asia, and we've had a wonderful relationship, living in 4 countries on 2 continents, and we have a beautiful daughter together. When we met, she had just escaped an abusive relationship. She was cheated on multiple times and was physically abused as well. She was getting divorced at the time. She told me everything very soon after we met, including the fact that she had a daughter who lived with her ex. I accepted this very easily, and instead of seeing it as a problem, I saw it as gaining a child in my life. We had our daughter just over 5 years ago while we were living in Europe, and decided to move back to my hometown in the UK not long after. It's been generally very good. However, sometimes she gets really angry over not much, usually about my family. Her ex's family were very controlling, financially and physically, but we put it down to her trauma of the past. This situation. Fast forward to March when lockdown happened. I can honestly say that from the start of lockdown until the end of May were some of the best times we've had. We decided that if her daughter was going to return to the UK next year as planned, it's probably time for her to do a trip home with our 5-year-old who was traumatized when my wife was away for so long last year, so she can try to resolve the issues that are haunting her with her daughter and her family and apply for a visa. I fully supported her as I thought it could help a lot. We were talking a lot. She was telling me how much she loved me, and we were planning things like starting a business when she got back. She also mentioned that she had reconnected with a friend, a guy she used to know from high school. She said he was really nice and they talked about everything that was going on with her, and with him too. She told me, "Don't worry though, it's nothing more than talking." First red flag. I trusted her. We've been through a lot together and I had no reason to doubt her. The second red flag was when she said he wouldn't speak to me because he doesn't speak English well. I told her it's not a problem because I speak their language. He wouldn't speak to me, which is when I first got suspicious. This was a few weeks before she went. She reassured me many times that she loves me so much and we're going to grow old together. And despite having problems, we always find our way back to each other. This settled me somewhat, and I told her I trust her. Anyway, a couple weeks pass, and we're in contact less than usual because she needed space to think things over. I know from experience that this does help her, so I was fine. However difficult it was for me. A bit more time goes by and she decided we needed a break as she doesn't know how she feels about me anymore, and reeled off a list of things that she didn't like about me, most of which were valid things I do need to work on, but had never been deal breakers in the past. I've taken her for granted. I should have been taking these things more seriously in the past. Anyway, my suspicions kept coming back and I was starting to not trust her because she stopped mentioning her high school friend. I got the charger for the iPad, which is connected to her cloud, and switched it on. I open the photos and start to see screenshots of him and her talking, WhatsApp photos of her in the bath that I hadn't received. Then I see a call list to him with calls about an hour apart, then a screenshot of chats, not incriminating in the messages, but his contact name had changed to my heart emoji. Other screenshots of messages to other people referring to my boyfriend. My world fell apart. I know I probably shouldn't have. However, I checked our laptop to see if her Facebook was still logged in. It was. I saw their chat and it became obvious they were in a relationship. Also, most of the conversation history was gone. Since then, I've been keeping an eye on it. I've also seen conversations with a couple other friends saying I'd seen their status and worrying that I knew he was there. Another saying she was a mess. She wasn't feeling right. She was confused and admitting that she's cheated. A later message saying she's so confused. She's gone too far. I also found out he added her as a friend on Facebook at the end of May. Anyhow, a week's gone by and it's been hell. I haven't told anyone about this, which is why this post is so long. I'm real sorry about that. And it's been killing me. It seems we've gone from being in a good, strong place to the point where I'm now in a couple months. I've not had the conversation yet. However, I have prepared for it. I've also prepared a message to send her after the conversation telling her I need time to think about what I'm going to do. But I don't know what to do. I don't know if I can ever forgive her, trust her again, be able to be with her and not think of her and him. I just don't know. I'm also worried about my own mental health. I'm worried by the fact I feel little emotion at the moment. I'm worried about the fact I need to hold it together for my beautiful daughter, which I must say I'm doing pretty well with so far. I'm scared of being alone. I'm worried that to keep going will just prolong the agony, and next time she might get away with our daughter, who I so luckily still have at the moment. If she was gone too, I don't think I could live with that. Anyway, I'm so sorry for all that. As I say, I haven't spoken to anyone about this, and it feels a relief just to get it out. What do you think? Update. Well, I'm just about to drop the hammer, as one of my friends have put it so eloquently. The only thing is, I'm not sure how far I want to go. I know now that reconciliation, at this stage at least, is not an option. She knows how I feel about infidelity, however, continued to have a relationship with someone for the last 2 months at least. And then there's the pic of the positive pregnancy test that I found on iCloud. Basically, I'm going to tell her how much she's hurt and betrayed me, that I don't think I can ever trust her again, etc., and cut her off apart from contact with our daughter. I would never cut them off, for my daughter's sake. But I don't know how far I should go. I have access to her Facebook, which is where I gathered a lot of evidence, which she doesn't know about. It has both our families on there, so I could go full nuclear and post what has happened. The only thing I know is that I won't be sending her any money anymore. She's in her home country. I'm in mine. I've noticed for the past few days, she only contacts me to ask for money. I also know that my daughter won't be going over there as planned. I now know she was planning to keep her there. So I've hidden her passport and the permission letter for her to get the passport of her mom's nationality. Yes, I've been completely gaslighted, but things seem to be going in my favor. I will also be canceling her return flight and telling her I've canceled her visa for the UK. Which of the above do you have experience with and recommend I don't do for the best chance of a peaceful life? I'm really sorry you're facing this. Here's a plan to consider. Start by confronting her about the infidelity and make it clear that your focus will be on co-parenting your daughter. It's best to keep things private rather than airing the details publicly, as this can lead to more complications. Make sure to stop any further financial support and consult a lawyer about canceling her visa and flights. Your mental health is crucial, so seek support from friends, family, or a therapist. Lastly, prioritize your daughter's well-being and stability throughout this process.